Okay. We are out to YouTube. That's great. Now let me just. So.
Okay, that's the wrong number there. It's 129. Page 129 is Kiyashmi.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Right, so Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Haven't had to sing with the mask on for a while, so I'm hoping this all goes well. We are going to greet Shabbat with Ki Eshmira on page 129.
129.
129. And I just want to remark before we start that my yard was full of robins today. They must be migrating through, and it's such a positive sign that spring is on its way. So I hope you were able to see some robins today too. Ki Eshmira Shabbat El Yishmeireni. Ki Eshmira Shabbat El Yishmeireni. Eoti Leomeha Be'oveni. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and again, welcome. I'm going to put up for screen share the copy of the link for the prayer book. Should you need a prayer book for tonight's service, it's at CCRNet Publications, Mishkan Tefillah. You can get there also from our webpage, so that the easy way to get there is just go to bneiisraelsouthbury.org and you'll find the link to press to get a prayer book should you need a free flip book for tonight's service. So delighted you are all with us online this evening. It's going to be a wonderful service. We have an IAC presentation coming up in just a little bit. We turn now to page 120 for Hadlakat Hanerot, Kindling the Lights of Shabbat. This evening, Linda will be leading us in candlelighting, and we'll find this on page 120. And hopefully that sound quality is okay? Great.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who hold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you, Linda. That was just lovely. And Linda set the bar so high because somehow this evening we were able to light the candles on the first shot. That never happens here. Our service continues on page 138, where we join together with Linda in Lecha Dodi, the first, the second, and then on page 139, the 9th verses of Lecha Dodi.
Shabbat I'm sorry. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha Ishmianu el hamichad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem tiferet v'litila l'chad dodi l'kakala v'nei shabbat l'kabilah l'chad dodi l'kakala v'nei shabbat l'kabilah Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha Yihi mikor umorcha Meirash mikedem nesucha Savase b'mat Shabbat lehila L'chad dodi l'kakala V'nei Shabbat l'kabilah L'chad dodi l'kakala B'nei Shabbat l'kabilah Roi v'shalom ateret bala V'am b'simcha u'tzola Toch emunei am sigula Boi chala, boi chala, boi chala L'chad dodi l'kakala B'nei Shabbat l'kabilah L'chad dodi l'kakala B'nei Shabbat l'kabilah
We now turn to page 144, page 144, as Linda leads us in the Chatzikash.
Yitkada v'yitkada shmei rabba Be'alma tifrachute ve'amlik malchute V'chayechon uvyomechon Uvchaye de kol bet Yisrael Bagala, bagala Uvizman kariv B'meru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mivorach Le'alam U'Lamei Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitalei V'yithalal Shemei Dekudisha Brihu Leila Mincho Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata Banechemata Damiran Belma V'meru Amen.
Page 146, we invite those who wish to rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach,
And I read on the bottom of page 148, "Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening."
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamahari Varavim.
And the bottom of page 150, "Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel."
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kibod Malchuto Leolam Vahed.
Please be seated. We join together with Linda on page 154 in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anoki mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha bevetecha uvleptecha v'derech ushokbecha uvekumecha ukshartam lehot al yodecha v'hayu letotavot beinenecha uchtavtam al mizuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'hasitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Emet. We turn to page 156. I read towards the bottom of the page in English. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi Chamocha will be found on page 158.
La 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 la. Safe
Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. I read on page 160 towards the bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. On page 162 is our prayer for Shabbat, V'shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בין בני ישראל אל תילי העולם, ויהיו בין בני ישראל עוד תילי עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
What a beautiful melody that is.
That's some,
That is Weinberg as
Yeah.
the composer.
yeah.
On page 164 begins our tefillah. We invite those who wish to rise. We'll be chanting the prayers starting on page 164, continuing on the right-hand pages, on the even numbered pages to page 170.
Adonai sifatatita u'kiyati tefillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'elohei Ha'gibor b'ha'ara, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'karei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdevot Ve'imahot, U'mevi Gula Lifnei Bneihem, V'man Shemo V'yachava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol HaTorah L'Hoshia, Mechokel Chayim V'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol V'Rachamim Radu, Tzomech Noflim V'Ropech Olim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayei Emunato L'Shenei Apar, Nifalmo Chabal Yeburot, U'Midor Melech, Melech Meni Tu'Mechayei, U'Matmiat Yeshua, V'Manatah Ha'chayot Ha'achol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. So the threat of Russia imminently invading Ukraine and of Iran's menacing capabilities and of a promotion of lawlessness in our own land remind us that as we make our way through major challenges, it's important to regroup. It's important to give voice to the utmost values and yearnings of our souls, of the Jewish soul. We pray that our people and all peoples may know the blessings of peace and of wholeness. We sing Shalom Rav for Abundant Peace, page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amecha Yisrael. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tassim Leolam. Tassim Leolam. Tassim Leolam.
Silent prayer will be found page 180.
Say shalom b'mroma. Uyav say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'apol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'apol Yisrael.
Page 364 for Seder Kriyat Torah for our Torah service this evening. Linda will be singing Ki Mitzion as we take the Torah out from the Ark. Tonight's reading from the Torah, it's the Torah portion Ki Tisa. This is one of the most important stories in the Torah. It's the golden calf story. I have prepared, a friend sent this to me, which I'm going to screen share to you just for a moment as we set up the golden calf story. So the caption says, I understand, but the order says one golden calf. To review the important elements that will be presented. Moses seems delayed coming down the mountain. The people gather against Aaron. They want a god to worship. He feels threatened and he has them bring them their gold and says the next day will be a holiday to Adonai. Aaron makes a golden calf. The people say that this is the God who led them out of Egypt. They carouse around it. Moses learns from God what's going on. God is ready to destroy the people, but agrees to Moses' plea not to. Yet when Moses is at the base of the mountain, seeing what's going on, he gets angry and shatters the tablets of the pact. Moses approaches Aaron. Why did this thing happen? Aaron offers a lame excuse. I put the gold into the fire, and out came this calf. Order is restored, and Moses has the calf ground into powder, which was put into the water, and he made the people drink it. God soon forgives the people, and Moses goes up the mountain a second time. A crucial question: what's the sin? What's the misdeed? What did the people do that's so egregious, that's so bad? Some candidates freaking out, being impatient that Moses was gone, worshiping gold, worshiping the figure of an animal, labeling a thing God. From my perspective, all can be bad, but the worst is taking what is transcendent and infinite, God, and making it into a thing, and adding further insult, calling that thing the force of freedom. No wonder Moses drops the tablets and says to Aaron, how could you do such a thing? As people, we make mistakes. We can be impatient. We can get too focused on money. We can worship wealth and celebrity. Like Aaron, we can try to duck responsibility. We can take freedom for granted. We can shrink and compact our spiritual awareness. Yet in the narrative, Moses then goes up a second time and receives a second set of tablets, along with the insight that God is forgiving. May this great story from the Torah, something tragic, but whose outcome is reassurance, help to inspire us, to reassure us amidst all of the many challenges that we face. Those following in the Torah commentary, page 646, chapter 32, verse 1. I'll be reading it here, and we'll just slightly move the to see the reading. Our president, Stephen Reps, is our Aliyah this evening. Beginning. Right here.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Aker Bachabana Mikol Ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayar ha'am ki voshesh Moshe laredet min hahar. And when the people saw that Moses was tarrying, was late in coming down the mountain, vikahel ha'am al Aharon. And so the people gathered, congregated against Aaron. Vayamru elav, and they said to him, Kum, up, aseh lanu Elohim, make for us a God. Asher yelchu lefanenu, that will go before us. Ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim, because this Moses, the man who led us out of Egypt, from Egypt, lo yadanu mehayalo, we have no idea what has happened to him. Vayomer alehem Aharon, and Aaron said to them, Pirku nizme hazahav, give to me the gold in your ears, asher boznechem, neshechem, benechem, uvnotechem, your ears, your wives, your sons and daughters. The haviu elai, and bring it to me. V'yit parku kol ha'am et nizme hazahav asher boznehem. And the people brought all of the gold in their ears. V'yaviu el Aharon to Aaron, v'yikach mi'adam, and he took it from them, v'yitzar oto v'cheret, and he made it into a mold, a form, v'ya'asehu egel masecha, and he made a molten calf. Vayomru, and they said, Ela Elohecha Yisrael, this is your God, O Israel, Asher Helucha, that brought you up, Me'eretz Mitzrayim, from the land of Egypt. V'yar Acharon v'yiven mizbeach lefanav. And Aaron saw, and he made an altar before it. V'yikra Acharon v'yomer chag l'Adonai machar. And he said, Aaron said to proclaim that tomorrow will be a holiday for Adonai. The commentators tried to get Aaron off the hook for that answer, that he was trying to delay things, as it were. And so the answer there is that he's procrastinating with doing it today, hoping Moses would come back. But they got up in the morning, and they made sacrifices. V'yeshev ha'am le'echol v'yishtu v'yakumu l'tachek. And they sat to eat and drink, and then they got up to carouse. V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe. And Adonai, and God said to Moses, Lech, go, red ki shichet amcha asher heleta me'eretz Mitzrayim. Because your people, notice that God doesn't say my people. God says to Moses, because your people who you brought out of the land of Egypt have sinned. Saru maher min haderech asher tzivitim. They have quickly gone away from the path that has been commanded to them. Asu lahem el masecha. They have made a molten calf. V'ishtachavu lo. And they have bowed down to it. V'yizbechulo, and they've sacrificed before it. V'yomru, and they've said, Ela Elohecha Yisrael, this is your God, O Israel, Asher Helucha me'eretz Mitzrayim, that brought you up from the land of Egypt. V'yomer Adonai el Moshe, and Adonai, God said to Moses, Re'iti et ha'am hazeh, I see this people, Vihine, and behold, Am Kashe Oref Hu, that this is a stiff-necked people.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Our service now continues as Linda will be singing It's Chaim He, that our Torah, the understandings which we derive from our Torah, are a tree of life, and the Torah will be dressed and returned to the earth. Page 374.
It's Chaim Lemor Chasikima V'tam Heha Me'isha Derachenu Darkenu V'chol Tivatecha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu
As we offer the blessing for healing this Shabbat, we are mindful of Robert Dower, Alan Elias, Phil Feinman, Gerald Friedkin, Ruth Holt, Hamorat Tzvi Amina, Bat Tzvi Hirsch Ve'ita, Charlene Kochman, Kevin Lembo, Yvette Mickenberg, Art Phillips, Joanne Ranzer, Raj Schoonmaker, Michael Schwartz, and Alan Stein. There are also those for whom we pray privately. And we also pray for people over the world fighting still COVID-19. And for those on Zoom, we now invite you to unmute and say aloud the names of those for whom we likewise pray this Shabbat.
Ellie Crystal. I don't know if they heard.
Ron Saunders,
Ruth Holt.
Jessica Steinman,
For all, may the Holy One send healing and shelter in protection. Mishaberach will be found on page 371.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us
Each month, we take an opportunity to specifically highlight aspects of our ongoing connection to Israel, our ancient Jewish homeland that's also the world's other major Jewish center of life and of Jewish hope. Tonight, we hear, as part of our IAC Shabbats, our Israel Advocacy Committee Shabbat programming from our chair, Dr. Hadar Lubin. And Hadar will be presenting, and I will be screen sharing Hadar's presentation on my computer.
Yes.
So Hadar, we invite you to unmute.
I'm unmuted, and Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good to be with you. Today, what I wanted to talk about is about Israel Apartheid Week. And next slide, please. Rabbi, if you can put the slides on.
Yes, so
Terrific. So next slide.
and there's just one other thing I need to do. Use full slideshow. And there.
All right. So as many of you may know that since 2005, during February and March, throughout different campuses around the country and around the world, there are a series of university lectures and rallies that are meant to educate people about Israel's apartheid system and to grow the support for the BDS movement against Israel, the boycott, divestment, and the sanction campaign. In addition, it aims to mute and attack pro-Israel voices and to intimidate students who are Jewish or pro-Israel. Now, of course, recently, Amnesty International released their report concluding that Israel is indeed an apartheid system, which of course fuels this distorted perception of Israel. So when you think about it, Israel is an apartheid system. Many may think, come on, who would believe something like that? At least I would think that way. So next slide, Rabbi. So the survey that was conducted by the Jewish Electoral Institute revealed that 25% of American Jewish voters believe that Israel is an apartheid state. 22% believe Israel is committing genocide, and 9% believe Israel does not have the right to exist. Next. When you look at the same survey, when they zoomed on the voters who are under 40, the younger voters, the numbers inflate significantly. 38% believe that Israel is an apartheid state, 33% believe that Israel is committing genocide, and 20% believe Israel does not have the right to exist. This is among Jewish voters. So clearly, the effect of the association of Israel as an apartheid system has been quite successful, not only generally, but also among the Jewish population. Next. As we know, the apartheid system originated in South Africa as a system where a white minority prohibits the non-white majority from participating in politics and imposing racial segregation and oppression. Next. So what is the reality in Israel? Next. Israel is a multicultural and liberal democracy quarter of Israel's citizens are non-Jewish. They have equal voting rights. Arab Israelis have been members of every Knesset from its inception, and the current coalition government relies on Arab Muslim Party for its majority. Without their support, the government will topple. Next. Labeling Israel as an apartheid state is inaccurate, it's dangerous, it's anti-Semitic, it's anti-Israel, and it diminishes the meaning of a real apartheid. Next. Rabbi, if you can initiate this very brief video, that would be great.
Yes, I'm about to. I'm just going to pull it up on the screen. And right before sharing, I'm going to also, I think I have figured out one other thing I just need to do very quickly in Zoom of changing my microphone and speaker, changing the microphone in order for it to hear. And so I'll be looking up at the screen. If you are unable to hear, please let me know. We've had some sound problems in the past, but hopefully we can take care of it right now. And
perhaps the most complex political issue of our time. Many are resorting to simply blaming one side or the other. But if you take the time to understand the history and the framework of conception, a potential path forward for the Palestinian begins to emerge. So let's start by trying to get the story straight. And here are 10 of the biggest misconceptions out there. Misconception number 1: Israel leaves the land from Palestine. In 1947, the UN voted to give land to both the Jews and the Palestinians. The Jews accepted their partition and legally formed the state of Israel. Palestinians rejected their partition and attacked. Misconception number 2: the surrounding Arab nations actually want to create a Palestinian state. So after the war, the West Bank and Gaza were controlled by Jordan and Egypt for 19 years. During that span, those governments never established a Palestinian state. Instead, they kept the land with their own. Misconception number 3: that Arab nations want to solve the refugee crisis. Palestinians have settled in Arab nations throughout the Middle East. They solve crisis and equal rights, but instead, they refuse to let them go. Homeland will be instead in public schools. Ironically, citizenship rights is Israel, which are over 156,000 Arabs after 1944, and even today, Arabs hold seats in the Israeli government. Misconception number 4: solve the refugee crisis. The UN did say it would provide assistance to Palestinian refugees, but instead of using their existing agency that helps resettle refugee populations around the world, the UN created which will protect Palestinian as a refugee until the Palestinian state is formed within the borders of Israel. This makes it more difficult for Palestinians to thrive in this country and locks them in perpetual refugee status, passing on children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Population from 500,000 in 1949 to 5 million today. As conditions worsen, the international aid starting to break, which incidentally is misconception number 5. The solution is more money. Really, Western nations have given the Palestinians a ton of aid. Taking inflation into account, they've been given 25 times more money per person than Europe was given to rebuild after World War II. Where's people economy? Where's the improved infrastructure? That money sure could have helped, but it was given to some leaders who had a different agenda. Into misconception number 6. Forming a state is the primary goal of the conflict. All this international aid did really help these money. Yasser investment worth more than one. That then comes through the threat that the state is but Erica, who lost that matter. Never actually signed peace. Misconception number 7. Israel has a true peace partner. In the year 2000, desperate for resolution, Israelis elected Prime Minister Ed Barak with a mandate to make peace with the Palestinians. Barak offered Yasser Arafat 94% of the land and accept Jerusalem. Arafat flatly refused. President Clinton blamed failure of the best chance of peace in 60 years squarely on Yasser Arafat. Which brings up perhaps this discussion. Number 8. Israel just needs to give up land for peace. The last time Israel tried this was in 2005. They forced thousands of Jewish settlers out of Gaza in exchange for Palestinian leaders promised peace. But when Israelis rebelled, Palestinians voted Hamas leaders. Yet they elected a terrorist since taking power. And that wrong is surprise. And probably misconception number 9. Most Palestinians want some Palestinians too, but they are important. For 60 years, Palestinian educational leaders have meant their children a steady life. I suicide bombs and celebrating death right. Finally, misconception number 10. Giving the Palestinians a state now is the solution to their suffering. This has been the only approach tried for the last 60 years. Some people are wrong now. And we need to have a state to give them equal rights to be enforced. Only nations grant full rights to Palestinians within their borders, but by granting them full rights in every nation, we need equality for every Palestinian. Let's be honest, these misconceptions have concealed potential solutions. When we take time to clear up the reality, we begin to uncover the truth, and that's when real progress is justice.
The end. Well, I think that I don't know if you could hear it well or not, but I hope that thinking about Israel and the apartheid together is something that creates quite a bit of distress for everyone. That's it. Thank you, Rabbi.
Hadar, thank you so much for a really outstanding presentation. And on behalf of all of us, we wish you and David and the Nesia Tova a wonderful trip going back home for you to Israel and seeing family. We look forward to hearing all about your trip to Israel when you're back in Connecticut. Our service now continues on page 586 with the Aleinu. Ellen will invite you to open the Ark for the Aleinu. For those who wish, we invite you to rise. The paragraph which we'll be chanting is the second paragraph down on the page 586. Thank you. Please be seated. I read on page 589. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. B'ne'emar, page 591.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
At this moment in our service, we now call to mind our own beloved dead. We pray on their behalf. We voice the confidence that they are remembered for blessing. I ask that those in mourning or remembering the anniversary of the death of a loved one to please rise if you are able when their name is mentioned. During Shiva, we remember Barry Lorman. During Shloshim, Victor Solani, cousin of Pauline, Max, and Alexis Zimmerman. Charlotte Berman, cousin of Catherine Albee. We remember the art sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Charles Edlin, Samuel F. Friedman, Helen Gleiberman, pardon me, William Goldman, Gloria Golfin, Jacob K. Jennis, Phyllis Klausner, Madeline Corkin, Clara Koweek, Henry Krakow, Harry Mulliver, Rose Mulliver, Albert Nathanson, Irving Pollock, Catherine A. Raffel, and Howard Wolgemuth. We ask our worshipers, should you have a dear one to add, to unmute and to say their name.
Nina Palbielski.
Reinstating a custom from our B'nai Israel past, should you wish, we invite you to unmute and offer a short remembrance of a dear one on our Kaddish list. We also remember the dead this week from COVID-19, and each Shabbat, we also mention 6 names amongst the 6 million murdered in the Holocaust, the Shoah. This week, we remember Hanan Bogatin, Mordechai Borgenowski, Golda Boganicki, Abraham Boganicki, Aaron Boganicki, and Bracha Boganicki. In remembrance and solidarity, and on behalf of those for whom there is no one but us to say Kaddish, we now invite all to rise if you are able. Our Kaddish prayer is on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach rute v'amlich malchute, v'chayecho v'yomecho v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam alalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kadisha b'rechu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'bromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for blessing, and let us say amen. Please be seated. Now, Stephen, our Stephen Reps, our president, I set the alarm at home, which was not a good thing because there were people there. I left on the computer printer the announcements.
No.
That's not a good thing either.
Okay.
But I think we can both do them by heart
Okay.
at this point.
All right, so we always say, we wish to thank Rabbi for a wonderful service and Linda for the beautiful music. And certainly Dr. Hadar Lubin for a fascinating presentation on the IAC Israel Advocacy Committee. Let's see, what else?
Torah study in the morning,
Torah
advanced
study.
Jewish learning on Sunday,
And
No religious school on Sunday.
and no religious school on Sunday.
for your Hamantash, please remember to order your Hamantash in $12 per dozen. There is a link on the website, direct link for your order form. So please, order them. They freeze beautifully too. So order enough for the entire year. For those who have already sent in their responses to our request to update your personal information, thank you very much. They are still kind of trickling in. It's real important to ensure that we have up-to-date information for everyone's personal data. Mostly just changes to email addresses and phone numbers have been coming in. And even if everything is correct, please let us know if you'd like to be included in the updated directory to be submitted only to our congregants. Very good. Nice to see everyone this evening on YouTube, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Absolutely. We don't need no paper. We just know it. And so for our closing hymn this evening, bringing back an old favorite, which it's great to do. And that old favorite is Yigdal. And this speaks to the longtime understandings of the Jewish people about God and hope. You'll find it in the prayer book on page 628. On page 629 is the translation. We're doing the first, the second, and the last verse.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא בצויותו אחד בן יחיד בייחודו עולם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אלו דמות הגוף
לכל דבר
אשר נברא ראשון בראשית לראשיתו חיי עולם נתן בתוכנו ברוך הדשת שבתחילתו ועולם נתן בתוכנו
May God's presence be with you and give you peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And here we are. We have an intimate crowd, so we can do let me just go to the right gallery for people to say and have it so you can see Linda, for folks to say hello, and Susan and Eileen.